Hmm. Hey there in YouTube land, and I'm here today with my son Matt,
Alright.
who has been helping me do the move. So, what you found out about was it yesterday?
Yeah.
Yesterday. So yeah, it was a big surprise. But today we are here to talk about Xbox One, some movie talk, and just we're basically going to ramble a bit and talk about some stuff we find interesting. Yeah.
Okay.
So today we spent the day playing the Xbox One, and note to right up front, he's more of a PlayStation guy, and he's going PlayStation 4 this time around, I think.
Yeah,
And
probably. I don't know.
I've played both, and I found the Xbox One a little bit for me, but to each his own. Like I said, I love Sony too, and they do have a great system. Both systems I think are fantastic this time around.
Yeah.
And they each have their own really great exclusives that go towards certain people, and I like the exclusives on both systems. It's just there's more games out that I want right now for the Xbox One, which made me choose that.
Yeah.
And even today when I had some problems signing up for Xbox
my
Live
God.
Gold, oh my god,
That was like
it was forever.
everything was like quiet for like an hour, and all I could hear was, "It's not on, right?"
Yeah.
Xbox sign in is
Sign in, but you
Sign
know
in.
what? At the end of the day, they fixed it up for me, and they gave me a free month, which I think was pretty cool. And I got to say, their support team, their customer service is really good. That's been real on both sides. When I was signing up for the PlayStation 4, I had a hell of a horrible time trying to sign in originally. And did you lose it?
my candy.
It's right there.
Is it?
Yes.
Yay!
But both, I got to say, both support teams were really well. And they got my situations straightened away. So thumbs up on both sides there. So we spent a lot of time today playing the beta for something called
Project Spark.
Project Spark.
Man.
And
See.
damn, this thing was amazing. I guess in a way it's, I don't want to call it Xbox's Little Big Planet because it's not fair to Little Big Planet.
No.
And Little Big Planet is a great game that has done a lot for like developing and stuff like that. But Project Spark's on a completely different level.
See, it's not even. It's like,
It's
yeah,
incredible.
It's like the Xbox's Unity, Unity for like gaming. You edit things right down to the code. And it's like simplified code too, which is really impressive. I have to say, we played a bit. I played a bit of it today, and like when we first started it, it was like
You guys played for like 5 hours.
I know, but when we first started it, it was like and it was just a normal like it looked like an adventure game, but people create their own maps and stuff, and you get to choose between like one or two different things. But like I was like, oh, this is pretty cool, and then when I got into it, it's like Godzilla. There was a map for like a Godzilla map, and I was like, how does that play? Amazingly is how that plays. I was Gamera, which was a option, and I fought several different things, as well as like destroyed a city and stuff. There was an opening cinematic.
It was cool.
I was impressed, and then I favorited that one after and followed that creator who probably never watching this video, but I hope he is. Make more of that stuff. And then when I played a Legend of Zelda one.
That
later
was
on, which
amazing.
Was awesome. It had
all these quests. It was over 30
it had
minutes.
a quest like thing. It had it was over 30 minutes of stuff. It was like pretty good progression. I played a bit of it while like
a lot of these here, I gotta say, you're playing them, and unlike when you're playing a Little Big Planet, you're playing a creative.
Yeah, it's Little Big Planet, but like based off something. Generally.
But this here is basically you lose touch sometimes with the fact you're playing a creator.
Yeah, I forgot we were playing Project
actually...
Spark. I was like, wow. When I started playing the Legend of Zelda one, I played it for a while, and I was like, wow, this is a pretty good like Legend of Zelda like ripoff thing. I wish this was I wish there was more to this game. And then I was like, oh wait, there's a Project Spark. I'll just go play another one after this.
So what's your favorite?
What was my favorite?
Because
it's probably the Legend of Zelda one. The Legend of Zelda one was really good. The most, the Infamous one was really cool.
Yeah, they did
the
a great job
most
with this.
impressive one to me, technically, of what I saw there, was one, it was just a really small test, but it was a setup of the Halo HUD screen, like, where it was a first, it took what was supposed to be like a third person, what can be a third person, or 2D, like, stuff, view, to make it a first person, with, like, a rough, but still, like, fairly accurate version of the assault rifle, with the ammo number on the back, and you got to shoot at enemies created in the game that looked fairly decently like the Halo enemies. I was impressed by how, like, what is normally there, the three-dimensional third-person game becomes a 3D, like, shooter, like, because that was the most technically impressive one I saw, but the coding in the other ones, my god.
They did some amazing stuff.
There was a map. The Legend of Zelda one had a map. It was a little broken, but had a map. The Infamous one had, like, things that were based off of all the, like, powers and such, and they looked really decent. It also had a mini map and stuff. I was impressed with the level of editing on the stuff. It's not Little Big Planet when you, like, look at it.
It's incredible the stuff that they can do, and this is just the beta, guys. So where they can go from here is, you know.
I'm still pissed at you for, like, doing your, like, Xbox Gold thing when I was about to play, like, a recreation of
which one?
The first mission from Fable 1.
You'll play that tomorrow, or maybe later on. But yeah, I got my Xbox Gold thing worked out. Downloaded the games. I gotta say the games were not the best. One was Dragon something.
Yeah.
Crimson Dragon, which is pretty much Panzer Dragon from the Xbox 360. And if you know the Panzer Dragon, it's kind of like an on-the-rails type shooting type of game. Not highly recommended. It's okay for a throwaway, but it's not something that's going to stay on my hard drive, definitely for sure. Guacamelee, which was one that was left over from last month, I could actually get. I was really surprised by that one. I could still get it. So I got that one, and that one I really love. The other one, the space one, not so interested in. But I didn't get it for that. I got it so that, and I want to make this kind of announcement, is that I'm going to be looking into a Twitch account where me and my kids will actually be looking at playing some of my Xbox One games. Will we live stream it and do some video stuff, right?
Yeah.
Video chats. That'd be pretty cool. Kind of like do some commentaries on games and stuff like that. And Matthew watches a lot of these game commentaries, as does Sandra, a lot more than me, so they'll know a lot more what they're doing than I will.
I have a very strict nightly schedule, actually, when I'm not here, which is I do stuff during the day, everything during the day, and the moment it hits, like, sometime between 9:30 and 11, I'm just like, this is the moment where I watch, like,
Those
2 hours of game videos.
That's like me, but it's like some of my friends teaching Pyramid, Father 5 and 7, Logan Toxic, Sweet Blues, Blu-ray Hoarder, guys like that. You know, TJ, Trey Pastor. There's so many I can't mention them all. But and you know, this putting video gaming into it now too is wow. It's going to be a lot there. I got to say, I'm really impressed with the Xbox One so far. We've had the PS4 and the Xbox One. They're both great systems. He prefers the PS4 controller.
I still have my reservations on.
I think that
certain things like
Xbox
the One's controller. I still think it's a bit weird in the hands, especially the god awful bumper buttons.
The bumper buttons I'm starting to get used to, but I gotta agree, the bumper buttons aren't the best.
No,
they're not the best. But this again, like every Xbox controller, this is the first design. Xbox usually has a first design that's pretty good, but then a next design that's spot on perfect. They are pretty good with their controllers.
I also think
the positioning of the sticks is great. I love the grip on the sticks, especially
the
when
grip on the sticks are cool. I think the sticks feel too small, and I think the middle button, as you'd call it, the X button, I suppose you could say, is in a weird place. It's instead of being in the middle, it's way up here, which is like completely out of the way.
So I like that.
I don't know. I think it's like
they still have to work on some of the voice controls. But it's
I don't know how many times
improved.
you said something and it was like, you're like, Xbox, go to my games and app. It's like, Xbox goes to Ted?
Yeah. But it's still 100% improved over what it was before.
Yeah.
It's just got to get used to my accent as well. So, we do have an accent. We are Newfoundlanders.
Oh.
You do.
Mhm.
Other things that we want to talk about. I want to get back to the Xbox thing, but you're wearing a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle shirt.
I am, and
So I had a comment from a viewer today.
Yeah?
A really good one. A bit long one, actually, talking about an
What was it?
older video I did on Michael Bay. Remember that? Did you see it today?
Oh God, I don't remember. Matthew doesn't keep track of things.
But right now, of course, well, we know that
Yeah, probably.
Michael Bay's Transformers: Age of Extinction has reached over $1 billion.
Yeah.
And as it reached movies like The Dark Knight and stuff like that. And Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is it's coming out soon.
Yeah.
So I gotta say, people rag on Michael Bay a lot,
I think I'm gonna go see that Saturday. I believe.
right?
Yeah, I think.
But the thing is that honestly, he does what he does well.
Yeah. Honestly. I've heard a lot of from people I know stellar things about the newest Transformers movie, not the other ones per se. 'Cause the other ones are.
I don't know. I thought that. Well, I didn't like all of them, but I
Mhm.
thought the first one was good for what it was. I
First
thought
one
it
was
set up a decent universe.
The second
Obviously,
one is.
this is not the cartoon. It's its own universe. It does its own stuff. Some of it I liked, some of it I didn't. But it was, he went out there and brought this geekdom to life, and there's
Mhm.
always going to be haters on stuff like that.
Yeah.
Michael Bay tends to be the punching bag for a lot of snobby moviegoers or people that think that they can only watch Bergman or something like that,
I don't.
or they can't watch cartoons.
Yeah.
I hate people like that.
I would
No
say-
offense to anybody out there, but
I don't think the Turtles, the new Turtles movie, should get that Michael Bay rap. Even despite what you think about him as a director, he's producing the film.
yeah.
He's not other than production, he is not.
Well, he does that with a lot of his films, and
Yeah.
this is a guy that actually, when he's making one of his movies, I think it might have been Transformers. He
Yeah.
basically used his own salary or something like that to finish the movie. Used his own.
Yeah.
The guy, makes action movies, and he made some stuff that I really don't like Pearl Harbor, but he's made some stuff that I really enjoy,
heard
just
that.
on a visceral level.
I heard about an interview with an actor on the newest Transformers movie recently that said he was she doesn't want to work with him again. He's completely flippant.
Michael Bay.
Yeah.
I would be too. You know what? I'm surprised that Michael Bay actually takes, considering the crap that he gets online and stuff like that.
Well-
I'm really surprised that he actually goes and takes in the
I think it
interviews.
was-
I would come out like this, and I'd be like, "My new movie's coming out."
Apparently, it was I think it was the guy who played the boyfriend or something in the new film, and he said that he was on set and Michael Bay would just be yelling at him be funny, you gotta be funny." There's kids there to see the production. He's like, "You gotta be funny. I hired you to be funny. I can still cut you out," and stuff like that. And he just kept insulting the guy, and then just suddenly at the camera he was everything was done. He's like, "Hey, you want to go have sushi with me, man? Let's have fun."
Well-
It sounds like a weird guy to have to work with.
I'm
Definitely.
guessing, director,
Yeah.
hey, let's go have sushi. It's it's the kind of way to say, this is work.
Yeah. I guess.
I don't
know.
take it I don't take it personally. Let's go have
That's
fun
a weird
afterwards.
thing to say, considering how very not serious most of Michael Bay's films are.
Yeah, but it's
The newer films seem to be a little bit more on the serious train, though. From what I've heard.
They don't have to be serious.
No,
He
they don't
does,
have to be.
He's got a formula, and people rag on people with formulas. But you know what? James Cagney and Humphrey Bogart made a great, fantastic career out of playing the same type of characters
That's
a
true.
lot. And nowadays, they would be like, oh, they're one note or something like that. But no, they came in a time and a period where they're classic actors, fantastic
Mm.
actors, and they were, by the way, fantastic actors. They just got into a mold and a character, and in a kind of a
Yeah.
situation that this is what they did and this is what they did well. Michael Bay found his place and what he does well, and obviously $1 billion proves that that it does well. There's going to be people that are going to bitch and complain and say, "I can't believe you watched this" and stuff like that. But you know what? So what?
Yeah.
There's movies out there for everybody. You don't have to go see it. You don't have to see the Turtles. You don't have to see Transformers: Age of Extinction. There's a lot of movies out there.
Honestly,
Guardians of the Galaxy, amazing movie.
I went and saw that the other day. That one was awesome.
James Gunn. You got Lloyd Kaufman in there, right?
Yes, he did.
Wait, and
I had forgotten because I had read that he like had a cameo appearance. But like the moment it got to the prison scene, I saw like Lloyd Kaufman there, like yelling down. And I was like, oh, it's like a
Lloyd Kaufman gave James Gunn his start in films. James Gunn worked for Troma. He actually directed one of Troma's more acclaimed movies called Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
Don't see it with the kids, guys, but it's a fun little film. I have it, and I got to meet Lloyd Kaufman, so that was pretty cool.
I suppose I'll do one little thing on Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the
Let's
Galaxy.
try not to spoil anything.
No, I won't spoil
This
anything.
is a good movie.
Guardians of the Galaxy was awesome. It was really fun, real funny. It was good with the setup. I'll say this isn't really a spoiler, but it's the only film so far that actually addressed the Infinity Gems, or Infinity Stones as they're called in this universe, and said mildly what they are, in a way.
Well, as it would, this is more of the space adventure.
Yeah, this is the one
that
that's
would
supposed to
deal with that
introduce
stuff.
the cosmic aspect. So, it's good that... Because if you're not a Marvel fan, a lot of the stuff is going over your head. Like,
And
gems suddenly appearing,
Yeah.
like what happened with the Tesseract and the thing in whatever Dark World, what happened with the Dark World.
And
That stuff's going to go over your head. Thanos is, like, the references to Thanos are going to go over your head. But in this film, you get a little more fleshing out of the cosmic stuff. And it was really fun. It set up everything really well. Really good after credit sequence.
you will not expect it.
No. It
Unless
fits
you've
the-
already seen it. And anybody that comes on here and says, I expected this, you saw a spoiler. Or
Yeah.
you read something.
There's
Because
no way-
nobody expected
It
this.
perfectly fits the tone of the film, but there's no way to expect it. Everyone would generally expect... I've heard a lot of before I saw the film.
It perfectly fits
Of,
the tone of James Gunn.
Yeah,
when
no,
you
it
really
does.
think about it.
It really does. Actually, know who... No, I'm not going to say anything. That would spoil a little bit.
But
But it was really good. And they knew it was really good because before it even came out, animated series was announced. Second installment was announced. The last thing you see in the film is the title, and then under it fades in "will return." So
this was and I said this, I'm going to toot my own horn here. I called this one.
Yeah.
I called Guardians of the Galaxy from the beginning. I'm a fan. But even so, I knew that something this different and something this unique in the casting that had gone into this, because they did not use a big name cast like they did with a lot of the other movies. They had a few, of course we had, was it a Vin Diesel as Groot?
yeah, Vin Diesel's great.
Groot, I am Groot. And
That's his only lines of dialogue. So.
that's all Groot says.
Yeah, I agree. Honestly,
Rocket Raccoon, which is a favorite character of mine. I love these badass characters. Which hopefully he's badass because she's
is.
seen it and I've seen
He's very badass.
it.
Batista,
As Drax, that was an unusual choice.
he's freaking hilarious in the film.
Gotta be good because you know what? I remember Rob Van Dam,
Yeah.
the wrestler. He had a movie called Wrong Side of Town, and it came out. And Batista had a part in it. He had a smaller part, but it was kind of it was supposed to be Rob Van Dam's movie. His movie that was going to make start Rob Van Dam's movie career.
Yeah.
So the movie comes out, and the poster, the box art for the movie, has Rob Van Dam in the background and Dave Batista
Oh.
in the foreground with big guns and stuff like that. Because Batista's an impressive looking guy, and even when you watch the movie, Rob Van Dam is, but Batista's scenes kind of makes the movie. He's got something. The guy's a presence. It's a shame that he went back to wrestling for a little bit.
Yeah.
And pretty much got booted at the stadium because wrestling fans are fickle people
Yeah.
that I no longer try to understand. I just like to enjoy what I like with it.
He was perfect in the film. He is probably he's probably a top character there for me. Least
Drax?
interesting. Yeah, Drax was awesome. Trust me. There's
More than Star-Lord, though.
Star-Lord's cool. Honestly, the least interesting characters of the film would be Gamora, obviously. I mean, honestly, and Star-Lord himself, because
Oh, I like.
as much as he is the focus of the film, which he is, he's very much the focus of the film. the funny lines are coming from Rocket, not Groot, but the funny moments, and Drax.
Well,
All of
Rocket,
them have their
the
own.
Rocket and Groot are like a team. Like, they're
Star-Lord is really good as a straight man, but when it comes to like comedy, but he's good for the story. A lot of stuff's good for the story, but I don't know. I just love the moments with like Drax and Groot and Rocket. It's all just they're all really good though. I think
But-
when it comes down to it, the only one who like couldn't fully carry like a scene that I care too much about is Gamora, because Gamora's story is directly tied in with Thanos and stuff. If you know the comics,
yeah, but you gotta, that was her. Give her time to grow, I guess. This is the first film.
Yeah.
Let's look at, after all. Did you see Thor 2?
No, I'll have to admit I don't actually
I saw
go
Thor
to
2.
see a lot of the Marvel films because I don't care so much. I don't really care about Thor. I don't really care about Captain America. I really don't.
Do not even say
Captain
that.
America
Winter
hasn't been
Soldier.
interesting.
Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier is cool
Winter
and stuff.
Soldier.
And I've heard the movie's really good.
It's really good.
But Captain America, the character,
Thor 2
has
or
not
whatever.
been interesting
Oh my
since
God.
World War II.
I love Christopher Eccleston. Great Doctor Who. Shallow Grave. Fantastic film. Thor 2. It's a movie. Not a favorite of mine,
Mm.
but it's a movie.
Oh man, you know what's going to be your
It's
favorite?
a filler movie.
Ant-Man. Ant-Man's going to be.
I'm an Ant-Man fan from a long time ago. I actually have the Ant-Man showcased.
Yeah.
I'm a really big fan of the character Hank Pym, who's been bitch slapped around in the comics for ages.
I hate the focus on the fact that he is white.
I hate that they went into that and didn't straighten it up. But they just went with, oh, he's the abusive guy, but he's not the abusive guy.
That the scene, and because I like huge on comics, which is why if I'm gonna make a channel, which I've been looking into, it's gonna be comic based. What actually fully happened? He had a mental break. He built an evil robot. Not. I'm already
Yeah.
selling this bad. Listen, he's not a bad guy. He built an evil robot. But he built a robot to defeat the Avengers, but he knew how to turn it off. He was feeling really down about himself, and he wanted to prove to himself and the team that he had a place there.
This was
He was
very
in the middle
challenging.
of a mental breakdown. She came up and grabbed his arm and yelled no, and he kind of just smacked back and said, "No, get off me, I have to do this," and accidentally hit her in the face, and she fell down, and he was kind of obsessed with the thing. That has been it's been years since that happened. That has been the central focus. You know what? I'm gonna give you a little tidbit, a little bit of knowledge I know, just so that you can focus the hate on someone else or something. Spider-Man once punched his pregnant wife in the face. I'm not joking. He did that. He punched her in the face whilst trying to strangle his clone.
Yeah.
His good one, not the bad one. He wasn't strangling Kane or Spider-Side. He was
Nobody mentions that.
what? Spider-Side?
Nobody
No,
mentions
nobody mentions that. Nobody mentions that Spider-Man punched his pregnant wife in the face. I don't even care if it's in continuity now. He did it.
that.
Actually, it's still in continuity because despite what One More Day did, all of the things happened except for the marriage in that storyline. It's weird. It's really weird. I don't understand continuity in Marvel. But he
Yeah.
punched her in the face. So when you're watching Amazing Spider-Man 2 or Amazing Spider-Man 3 in 4 years, because
Wait
it
a
got
minute.
delayed.
Though in Spider-Man 3, doesn't it kind of hit her or push her or knock her down in the movie?
Yeah, I mean, in the movie, he also is kind of an asshole. But that's supposed to be the symbiote.
Yeah.
Oh, and just in case someone
Yes,
says
it's-
it's the symbiote, he punched her in the face. No symbiote. He punched a pregnant wife in the face.
And just to verify, we do not agree with
Punching your wife in the face.
or
Even
any.
if it's Hank Pym, I'm not giving him a pass on that. I don't think it should be the focus of things for his character.
Yeah, but no,
It got even worse when they introduced him in the Ultimate Universe and he
But
attacked
then
his wife.
they made Captain America psycho in that too. I mean, they made a lot of
Everyone is psycho in that.
Ultimate Universe. was
Even
like-
Wasp is messed up. There's a line, I think, in Ultimates 3 where Scarlet Witch hits on
her brother.
not on Captain America and Pietro, obviously, Quicksilver is like, hey, stay away from her, and Captain America doesn't understand what he's talking about. So Wasp is like, oh, don't you understand? He loves her. And Captain America's like, yeah, that's his sister. Of course he loves her, but I don't understand why he's so defensive. And Wasp's like, no, he loves her. And of course, like, shocked Captain America's like, what? And Wasp's like, it's not your time anymore. It's now. Because, you know, I remember. Do you remember when that was fully, like, totally accepted and it was the thing we were cool with? Incest and stuff? No, I don't. You know what's another thing that's, like, not totally accepted and I'm not okay with? The Ultimates universe. I don't like that. Not at all.
They did one thing right. Spider-Man and then they killed.
Yeah, that's true. The one thing they did, the entire universe was launched for Spider-Man, and then he was killed.
To make a more diverse universe, diversity and inclusion.
I don't know. They've done that like 8 times now. I don't even want to talk about Ultimatum. That was awful.
God. So there we go. We've talked Xbox.
We've talked a lot. I just did a lot of ranting about comic book stuff.
Guardians of the Galaxy, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which we both want to see, actually.
We do.
And
I've heard it's okay, but you know, you got to take that stuff with a grain, especially when it comes to that.
So what do you think about the casting? What about Megan Fox as April O'Neil?
I don't know. I mean, that I still can't get behind.
What's wrong? I mean,
I don't know. Like,
she's a good-looking girl.
Yeah, but April's, well, okay, if we're going to get down to it, April's never been the smartest girl in the world. She is supposed to be kind of like the attractive...
She's there to be savior.
Yeah, exactly. So I can kind of see it. But,
speaking of,
I was worried
about Casey in this one.
No, Casey's not in this one. They said they'll introduce Casey in, like...
The sequel
or so. I was... Johnny Knoxville as Leonardo. I've heard their voices. I actually do like the voices of the Turtles.
I like John Knoxville. John Knoxville's a much better actor than he was crap
I have to
for
say,
because of the stupid Jackass show.
Yeah. When I was in the theaters waiting to get in to Guardians of the Galaxy recently, well, I was looking at the screen. We're sitting down in the lobby, and there's a screen up telling facts about new films. And me and my friend Charles were there, and he looks up at that screen. It's like the new TMNT movie with Megan Fox. I forget his name. The guy from Arrested Development, I think it is, who's going to be in it. You know what I'm talking about? Weird guy, cameraman in the film.
Oh no,
Right.
Yeah, I can't remember his name. Yeah.
And Johnny Knoxville, he just has this confused look. He's like, Johnny Knoxville. I'm like, yeah, Johnny Knoxville in the film. And he's like, is that Casey? And I'm like, no, it's Leonardo. Which has this kind of like moment of like, I don't.
Who's Raphael?
I don't know. I forgot who the other people are. They sound good though.
I like Shredder. I like the look of Shredder.
Shredder looks good. I still am weirded out about turtle lips. The weird turtle lips.
Yeah.
I mean, they scare the crap out of me.
I still love the sequence where he takes that. He said, no, don't be scared. It's just a mask. That's actually a funny sequence.
That was kind of cute. That was like the first like cute thing you see in the trailer. I'm like, oh, that's okay.
There's a lot of good movies out right now.
The second trailer, I think, was the one that really like kicked off my like, I want to see this movie because there's a lot of like witty back and forth banter, like with Raphael being like, give me your phone when April takes a picture of him, and you just hear their voices from the background being like, oh, he's using his Batman voice and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, this sounds like the Turtles.
Yeah, it seems fun. There's a lot of good movies out right now.
There is.
That we got Guardians of the Galaxy is out playing in theaters. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is in theaters right now.
It is.
Lucy with Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, that actually looked interesting. I am going on Thursday, I think, if my friend isn't working at the time, to the new English dubbed Dragon Ball Z. I think it's English dubbed now. Dragon Ball Z movie, which I've actually already seen, but it's going to be interesting in theaters. That's good.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
Actually, even like regular films, non-genre films.
Mm-hmm.
Get On Up, the James Brown story, looks actually incredible. And for some reason, people keep saying this guy played James Brown to be the next Joker. What's that all about?
What? Is that a thing?
I've heard it a couple times.
I don't even understand the correlation between those two things.
I don't know. I haven't seen the movie. Maybe he does a laugh or does a ow type thing.
I don't know.
Yeah, Joker would do. I don't know.
It's like we're watching like a Kurt Cobain film. It's like, that's it. That's Mr. Freeze. I don't understand the correlation between those two characters. Like those. Well, I mean, a person and that character at all. There's other stuff coming. I think they're doing a re-release of Ghostbusters for the 30th anniversary.
Speaking of Ghostbusters,
Do we have
there's
to?
news
Oh
that there
man.
may be a third film after all, and it may have an all-female Ghostbusters cast.
Yes. Oh God. See, you know what? From that comment alone, we're gonna get like, what's the problem with an all-female Ghostbusters cast?
Hin would be here right now, and she'd be saying, that's a fantastic idea. Why can't it be all a female thing? Empowerment. I don't
but, like,
mind, but it seems like a gimmick.
You
If
know,
there's a good
this
script-
entire argument overall is weird. People are like, why can't it be? Why should it? What is added from that? Like, I get like, oh well, it shows that like girls can be in this role, but like that's not the purpose. Go watch the real Ghostbusters. Girls were in that cartoon show. But if you're gonna make a remake a film like a Ghostbusters film, I don't know, try and match the Ghostbusters. I can't
What
think
scares me is that this is going to be a movie that we're going to see Melissa McCarthy in.
it is. And you know what?
I will not go see a Melissa McCarthy Ghostbusters movie. I'm sorry, I do not like her that much
if
as
you
an actress.
want to
or
get into
comedian.
it
She's not that fun.
and stuff. Like I said, what does it add? If you want to make a remake, specifically a Ghostbusters film, you need people who are at least like Bill Murray, and Dan Aykroyd, and all the other people who are in the film. I cannot think of any female actors who capture that type of thing. I can't think of many male actors right now who could capture that type of thing.
Actually,
I mean,
I wouldn't do an all-girl thing just because it doesn't make much sense. Because it would be a gimmick.
it is. It's very gimmicky.
But I wouldn't mind like a female in the Ghostbusters.
Yeah, no, that's perfectly
cast as one of
fine.
the roles. If I was to pick an actress, I would probably say that if anybody that could do one of those Ghostbusters roles, probably Kristen Wiig.
Yeah.
Actually,
Honestly, considering
don't put Melissa McCarthy in it, please.
Oh, considering,
I implore of you, please
considering the guy who played Egon's dad, right? He died recently.
don't. Yeah, Harold Ramis.
They could have a female in that role specifically, especially considering like with the West.
This is going to come off as completely sexist.
Oh, it's totally gonna come off as that.
But it's not meant that way. That's like, I wouldn't want to see Wonder Woman done as a guy.
Yeah.
I'm okay with, when it comes to like casting, I'm good
There
with, if you can have a multi like cultural Superman or something like that, or Wonder Woman, I don't care. Color or anything, that doesn't matter if the right actor is in the role.
Yeah.
I don't think so anyway. I mean, like, there was a big brouhaha at the time with Human Torch.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think if the
I
actor's
think the worst
good,
part of that film is everything that they've said so far. Actually, my least favorite thing was probably The Thing, Mr. Fantastic, and just like also
I like Miss.
I don't know. She
that's-
looks really like comparatively to like what you normally see her for like
she's
Miss
from
Fan
House of Cards.
for Sue Storm. She's pretty like plain.
I had a huge crush on
very
her.
plain.
She's not
looking
plain.
lady.
She is cute, and she was in House
Also,
of
I've
Cards.
heard
Awesome.
rumors, heavy rumors, that it's gonna be found footage.
That would be horrible.
Just
Cut the film
I don't
footage
even
out.
know what to say. Don't do that. Don't ever do that.
That's like the independent.
Ever. No, I'm. There's no jokes here. Don't ever do that. I don't care what you think. Oh, what if we introduce found footage? That should never be anything set like ever. No film ever should hear that in a boardroom. What if it's found footage? Immediately shoot that man. Immediately shoot the person who suggests that. We haven't done a review for it yet because we're gonna watch the second one. But we watched VHS last night. Movie with very popular reviews. Spoiler alert, hated it. I cannot find one, with the exception of Wreck, which is amazing, found footage film that I've like fully said, yeah, you know what, this is a good film. This film benefited from that. Cloverfield was awful. Quarantine, the remake of Wreck, awful. I don't even like Blair Witch Project. I hate Blair Witch Project.
Actually, I will go even farther. A lot of people hated the sequel to Blair Witch Project, which was kind of like a B movie thing without they didn't use the found footage stuff.
Yeah.
I was all for that. Love that. fun film. Blair Witch Project, one, it wasn't fun. It wasn't scary. For some people, it made them slightly nauseous, and the acting was not that great. I mean, this was obviously, as a guy that just got out of business, kudos on the marketing department
Oh, that was
for
awesome.
Blair Witch Project and Paranormal Activity. That is great, but the films themselves,
I forgot that
not
one.
so
Hate
much.
those too.
Actually, I don't mind them. I can watch them, but I know that I'm not watching a good film.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm going and saying, oh, this is cinema. No, I
Well,
know I'm not watching a good film.
The
That's
series
like,
progressively gets more and more just ridiculous. I mean, the first film you have to like stretch your like
well,
disbelief
according to
widely,
part 4,
anyways.
according to part 4,
It's like evil
luckily
old
now,
ladies.
I've got an Xbox Connect. So
Oh.
if there's any alien, if any like
demons.
ghosts or demon children, whatever, I will see them thanks to my my night vision on my Xbox.
Isn't that weird? Because in the other films, you never see the monster. Night vision, nothing. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if it's there, you can't see it. But apparently, Microsoft is amazing with their programming because they even detect otherworldly beings.
See, that's how good my Xbox One is.
Apparently.
I can detect otherworldly beings.
Heck, that was probably the 360's Connect, which was considerably worse. So this one can probably make it appear in your home.
That's not a good thing. Well, let's talk VHS. We'll talk
Are we?
second
Are
one.
we
Go
gonna?
for it. VHS.
Does this not deserve its own video? Or are we just gonna do it?
We're gonna do it. We're gonna do this is a smorgasbord video.
Okay.
VHS starts out
Badly. Yeah.
Uh,
Oh,
it
man.
sets up nothing, and
I didn't understand a thing about the first 5 to 10 minutes of the film.
until later
People
on.
are like smashing stuff, and they pull up a girl's shirt, and they're saying stuff, but it's like they're talking over each other, so it's really hard
They're
to
people
understand.
that you don't
And
want to
being
see
really quiet.
on a screen.
I thought it was set in the 80s because of his like weird porn stash, but no. They're I guess the premise is they're at a house to steal a VHS for some reason because they'll get money for it from someone, but they never thought to ask
Which one,
which one,
or what it looks like.
and the guy apparently just said, "You'll know it when you see it."
The house has lots of fucking VHS movies.
Spoiler alert, by the way, they never find that VHS.
We don't.
There's no like it's a demon VHS box. Oh, look at how easily it is. It's a different color. That line's never even addressed. You'll know when you see it.
Let's
They
go
just
through the
watch
stories.
VHS.
Let's go through the stories.
Okay, story
Okay.
number 1.
A bunch of douchebags have a amateur porn site where they go out and grab girls and like show their.
That's not even a
Shows
story.
the breast.
That's not one of the stories. That's
Yes.
the wraparound story.
Is that the wraparound?
Yeah, I have no idea what that's
No,
about.
that's part of the story because that's
No, that's a wraparound part.
no, because those people go to the bar.
No, those aren't the same people.
Are you serious?
Yeah, no, those are the people in the wraparound story. That had nothing to do with anything. Because you see them later watching that video and like saying, "Wow, you're really good with knowing girls' boobs." Because then they later smash stuff. I have no idea what the people who like pull the like stuff up.
No, I think that I'm gonna say I think
I'm certain it's
I
weird.
think
You know what's
those
even weirder?
characters
There's
are-
another like sex scene cut in there too that has nothing to do with any of the stories.
it's
or
supposed
the
to be like,
wraparound.
I think
It's
it's supposed
nothing.
to show that this was tape was used before and taped over.
I guess.
But I think
No, I'm serious. I am
think
serious. That's
that
not a
those
story.
guys had to do with
No.
going because they wanted because the guys wanted to go to a bar to film like amateur porn, so they wanted
was
to get
kinda-
drunk people, but they couldn't have sex with the
So they're
girls
basically having like a oh wow, look at this crazy night thing.
if they got drunk.
Uh,
And so stuff happens,
They all get
and-
drunk. They all get
and,
crazy.
and a
drunk.
lot of people get killed, and there's a demon gargoyle.
Twist. The
Creature.
girl who looks at the guy and goes like, "I like you," isn't normal.
It's really hard to figure it out. I mean,
And she's a succubus, by the way.
we weren't sure
I guess.
until we saw her on the screen.
She's not really like I was
first
expecting
time.
some really scary thing. It's not very impressive at all. She's got fangs and stuff. Her head's split in a weird like makes her look like
Story
a,
number
like
two.
an happy- yeah.
Story number 2.
Story number 2. We can't even go with that one.
It's not a story. It's a slice of horrific life.
I don't
couple
know
that's either
what happened.
Married or going together, or on a really important date, are traveling, and they
Yeah,
want
they're
to.
doing a traveling thing for the summer, and
Somebody knocks on the door one night, a girl who asks for a ride, and
they say that's weird.
they get kind of freaked out because the girl asks for a ride, and she seemed kind of strange. So that night, when they go to sleep, we see somebody come into the room, steal $100 out of his wallet, and
Then leave.
and pull down the blankets for the girl to show off her very fine butt, and put a
take
knife
his-
around it, and then
he takes like a toothbrush and
it
dips
puts
it in the
puts the
toilet.
toothbrush in the toilet.
And then nothing happens for another few minutes.
Yeah, and then they go around, and
They
the
look at
guy's
some
a
stuff.
major douche, and
The guy's a bit of the guy's an ass.
and he
um,
says to the girl, oh, did you take my money? And anyway, and then a couple nights later, he gets stabbed in the throat.
There is no setup for that. They go on a trip. They take a picture. Suddenly, it switches to him getting stabbed in the throat.
And then the girl is kissing the other girl because they're actually lesbians that are in a relationship and lesbians.
I don't know. I have no idea what happened there. That wasn't even a story. How can that be qualified as a horror story?
3. What's number 3 again? That doesn't start. I totally forgot.
Let me think.
Oh, is that the glitch one?
Yeah.
Okay, I liked this story. I liked the concept and idea behind the story.
Let's rephrase that. You like the concept and idea behind the killer in the story.
Yeah.
The story itself is weird.
Apparently, this girl brings her friends up to this area in the woods. We find out very oddly that people were killed up there before, and she was one of the people that were up there, but she didn't get killed. So she's gone back and she's using her friends as bait to capture this killer. The killer idea
she
is
fully admits, by the way,
is
can't be captured, can
Perfect.
be everywhere at once, and no one can see him because he exists within the glitches of a camera.
so you can only see him through a camera. That's the gimmick behind using
Her
cameras.
entire idea for catching this killer was bringing them up as bait and then run away.
Letting them die and basically she comes in.
And then
She
she
has,
runs
like-
away.
No,
That's
but
it.
she has a lot of
She has like a
traps and
few
stuff.
traps set up. Like, there's one notable trap, and that's when like a spiked thing comes up like this.
But
It
yeah,
doesn't do
overall,
anything.
the killer was a really good idea. The story is really badly executed.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
don't think that
I would
killer
like
can-
to see that killer in another film that
I
was
don't know if
better
he can
done.
fully carry anything.
I think there's enough.
I think it's good for a short thing.
Yeah, but a better short thing with an actual storyline.
Yeah.
So there's the next story is I can't remember what is it.
It's the one where the girl. It's the Skype one.
I watched this last night, by the way, and this is how memorable this movie
Yeah,
is. To me.
I couldn't remember the third one at all until he mentioned it.
I love
It's the Skype one. The Skype
Skype
one
story.
is
the Skype story. I liked. Well,
better.
there's the camera work in the Skype story is much better. The Skype is actually used very well.
The
this is
Skype story was
first-
the only one where I had a scene where it was like, oh, that's mildly scary.
this
Which is the scene very early on when like you start to see a form like forming in the back coming in, and then the kid runs in and like
it's
slams the door shut.
It's a pretty scary one. It's not that bad, but again, the problem comes with the
The
twist
ending.
that wasn't really needed. It became overly convoluted.
Really convoluted. Really, really, really convoluted. Because up until the end of it,
It seemed like a really great ghost story.
it's
until
really
the end.
it's ghosts and stuff. And because we've already spoiled like a bunch of stuff, and I don't
Yeah,
think
it
this really
doesn't matter.
matters. The answer is,
It was
and you had to kind of explain it because I didn't understand.
the
There-
guy is actually seeing a bunch of girls, and he's telling them that he's living far away, and he's going to come
Like
and see them.
military mission things.
Yeah, he's going to come and see them in like a week usually. Each of the girls have had like problems in the past, and they get like their arms and their stuff is hurting. And basically, what's going on is that aliens have scouted these girls since they were young, and have placed like hybrid alien like babies basically inside of their body, and and they've got trackers and that. And he's kind of like the human liaison that that knows his medical stuff, that goes in when the time comes that the creatures had to be taken out of the bodies, and basically they wipe the girl's memory and make sure thinks that she fell down, she's a klutz, whatever.
Yeah.
And he starts it over again, and meanwhile he's doing this with a lot of different girls all around, and no one No, it's really convoluted, but that's pretty much the basics.
It could have just been
behind the story.
ghosts.
It
And we
would have
discussed
been just
this,
fun.
and I said like, you were like, wow, but that like adds a new bit to it, and it's and I'm like, I know that like sometimes it's like, oh, this is old and stale. This was an obvious thing to do, the ghosts on cam thing. Sometimes, and the reason it's obvious in the first place is because that's a good idea. People like that, and that can be scary.
Worked in the well, you're not on camera, but Ghost worked in the Uninvited. It worked in the Changeling.
Just do the ghosts. You don't have to be artsy and crazy. Don't add in a weird alien thing. That didn't even make sense to me until like I looked at it and I was like, I guess that's what it is, but that doesn't make any sense. Why?
And the last was it the last story?
Yeah, the last story. Here's who was a big one. These guys. By the way, props to this for having the stupidest reason to have a camera on them. Everyone else was like Skype, filming something,
Google Glass, basically.
Google Glass, filming something else. This one, oh boy.
My favorite.
The guy is going to a Halloween party with his friends, but he's dressed as a teddy bear nanny cam, so that's why he has a camera on him.
So he's a teddy bear with a camera on him because he's a nanny cam. Yeah.
That is beyond stretching it.
That sets up what we're about to see. Now the film goes into they go to a party. I'm guessing they go to the wrong house.
No,
and they see,
maybe.
And they
Nobody's
see
there.
a exorcism cult thing. I don't know.
Well, for a while they just walk around and some like weird ghosty stuff comes up, and it's like, oh, ghosty stuff.
It's really boring.
And then they go upstairs and they find a cult thing, and then they run away. But nanny cam guy is like, no, you better help that girl. So they go up, back upstairs. By the way, to show the demonic powers and stuff, these people are killed in what I can only describe as they've levitated to death.
That's so hilarious.
They just go
It
like,
is so unintentionally hilarious.
and they start floating up. That's it. They don't die. They don't get like ripped to shreds.
Maybe
They
it's
just
the aliens
float up.
Maybe it's the aliens from the last story. No, but
So they save the girl. They
this
run
movie has
out.
a lot of unintentional.
Hands start coming out of places.
They finally get out of the house.
Finally get out of the house. They put her in the car. They realize that the street that they're on doesn't technically exist, and they don't know where they should be. They drive a bit. Some stuff happens. She teleports out of the car, yells at them, and then they're on a train track and they can't move. And they get hit by a train.
And we get back to the story of the. Well, by the way, every time somebody's watched the tape, they've disappeared.
Yeah,
Afterwards.
and selectively, they saw a dead man in the chair earlier. Selectively, he's there or not.
Is he dead or fall asleep? I can never.
I
figure
have
that out.
no idea. They say he's dead, then he's not, and then at the end you see him as a monster.
So your overall thoughts on VHS? We're
What
about
the
to watch
fuck was
VHS 2
that?
in about a couple minutes right now.
What the fuck was that? It was awful.
You know, the first time I watched this movie, I thought, oh, that's not that bad. But then again, I was falling asleep after. And I was watching it. I'm like, yeah, that seems like it's a pretty good movie, and it wasn't. I mean, the ABC's of Death was better than this, and that was
That
a very
had
uneven
some
film.
like
Very
that film was
uneven film.
messed up and weird, but at least it tried half the time. This film was just, oh my god! Like none of the stories hit. There's not one story I was like, there we go.
This is not the future of anthology films. Thank you very much.
That's this film's The Raft. That's this film's. Oh my god! I don't
No
remember
film
the names
had
of
a
the stories
bigger
from
strength.
the Dark Side movie.
I had a very good, strong. All the stories in Tales from the Dark Side were amazing.
Oh, I know exactly. But
Oh.
there's always one story that like shines above all the rest. There was not one of the stories where I was like, this is the one that sells the film. All of them were, this is the one that makes me want to turn this off now.
Now there's like, yeah, it wasn't good.
There was nothing. There was.
But this is one of my longest videos. That was the review for VHS 1. You've got a lot in this video packed in. If you guys have made
we
it to
did like
the,
8 reviews and like the thing of the Xbox stuff, and I had a comic rant earlier. It was great.
so there, if you've made it to through the entire video, if you've watched the entire thing, let me know by saying Cowabunga down in the comment section with your comment. That's how I will know you made it through this 50-minute video. And Props to you if you did.
Show us that Michelangelo is indeed a party dude.
He is totally a party dude.
Okay. Oh man, I can't even think of a zinger for the end of this video. 50 minutes of like 80 different things. I usually do things related to the topic.
Thanks for watching, guys. Me right now, it's time for tea, and I'm going to try watching VHS 2 with my son there. Yeah, going to need tea.
I love being a turtle.